A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant diplomatic development, Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro has freed 6 American detainees following a meeting with Richard Grenell, a senior official from the Trump administration. The announcement of the detainees' release was made via social media by former President Donald Trump and Grenell himself, who shared a photo of the 6 men aboard a plane, dressed in the light blue uniforms typical of the Venezuelan prison system. The freed individuals expressed their gratitude to Trump in a phone call made shortly after their release. The discussions between Grenell and Maduro, which Venezuelan state media reported as respectful, come at a time when the U.S. government has been pressing for the release of what they termed U.S. hostages. This diplomatic maneuver coincided with a broader strategy by the Trump administration to negotiate the deportation of Venezuelan criminals back to their home country. The White House had previously warned Venezuela of potential consequences if the detainees were not released. Grenell's visit to Caracas, which took place on January 31, 2025, was marked by a lack of prior diplomatic relations between the two nations, as the U.S. has no official diplomatic presence in Venezuela. The Trump administration has been vocal about its non-recognition of Maduro's presidency, particularly following the contested elections that took place 6 months prior, which many in the international community, including the U.S., deemed illegitimate. The 6 Americans released were among a larger group of individuals detained in Venezuela, with reports indicating at least 9 U.S. citizens or residents were held by the Maduro government. Some of these detainees had been accused of plotting to assassinate Maduro, adding a layer of complexity to the diplomatic negotiations. Upon his return to the U.S., Grenell took to social media to announce, "We are wheels up and headed home with these 6 American citizens. They just spoke to at real Donald Trump and they couldn't stop thanking him." Trump's administration has been under scrutiny for its handling of foreign relations, particularly with nations like Venezuela, where human rights abuses and political oppression have been widely reported. Despite the release, there remains significant tension between the U.S. and Venezuela. The Maduro government has been criticized for its authoritarian practices, and many Venezuelans had hoped that the Trump administration would maintain a tough stance against the regime. However, the recent talks have sparked debate over whether Grenell's visit could be interpreted as a form of legitimization of Maduro's government, which the U.S. officially does not recognize. In a statement following the meeting, Maduro alluded to a desire for a new beginning in bilateral relations, though he did not provide specifics on any agreements reached. He emphasized the importance of respecting Venezuela's sovereignty and democratic processes, despite widespread allegations of election fraud and human rights violations under his administration. The release of the detainees has been met with mixed reactions from political analysts and former officials. Elliott Abrams, a Republican who previously served as a special envoy to Venezuela, criticized the timing of Grenell's visit, suggesting it could be exploited by Maduro to bolster his legitimacy. "A meeting with Mr. Maduro will be used by him to legitimize his rule and show that the Americans recognize him as president," Abrams stated. The situation remains fluid as the U.S. government continues to navigate its complex relationship with Venezuela. The release of the 6 detainees may open doors for further negotiations, but it also raises questions about the effectiveness of the U.S.'s approach to dealing with authoritarian regimes. As the political landscape evolves, both countries will be watching closely to see how this development impacts their future interactions. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.